it grows
Hey,
pink slime
Twitch.
in there, and I'm like, I don't know how to get rid of this.
That's not good. We're going to need a two-shot. Two-shot, guys.
Such a saltwater tank is such a bold move.
Well, we're both guys, Shane. I don't know if you
Well,
know
we got
this.
it during the pandemic when
Yeah.
things
When
slowed down
everybody
and we're like,
needed,
well, we got time.
We thought it was the end of the world, so we're like, God, let's do things that we like.
Always wanted to do.
Yeah.
Hold on, your mic's not on.
And it's such, you know why I love it?
There it
It's
is.
such a 90s thing. A fish tank, but not just a fish tank, a saltwater fish tank.
Yeah, they taste better.
They do.
Because
okay, there we go. Get my jazz out of here.
it
So
seems
discombobulated.
it's fancier and also like higher profile
But
having.
we're not fancy.
No, no.
And
but
you don't do maintenance on anything.
Hold on,
so
I'm
this
pretty-
is the worst
I'm-
idea we've ever had.
I'm pretty fancy.
Well, Top Shelf, they come and they,
Who's that?
do maintenance once a month. But I feel irresponsible because
Top chef?
Top Shelf
These
is the
fish-
company that set us
These
up with
fish
it.
will eventually be consumed on the hit program Top Shelf.
It-
Or Chef. God damn it.
we have a partnership with them, so they
Do we, though?
Yeah. I mean, they maintain the
They
tank
don't
for
know
us.
yet.
Yeah.
3 years, but you think we would have learned
Thank you,
something
Luke.
like
Luke knows.
when it
Right.
turns pink and there's
Well,
like
you don't
pink
ask questions.
I
Hold
like
on.
that. I like that you guys put freshwater fish in there.
yeah, fine.
Yeah. Well, how do you
for a
think you
little
get
bit.
saltwater fish, you idiot?
Yeah.
Can I tell you the funniest story about a fish tank? When I was a
Please.
kid, we had...
This is the warm-up, by the way. We're
Great.
only on Twitch. We're not recording.
Very cool. When I was a kid, we had, obviously, like, in the 90s, everybody had a fish tank.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, we had this massive fish tank, really cool fish. I got the brilliant idea, like, because I filmed so much when I was a kid, I was
Yeah.
like, I'm going to set up my camera, and I'm going to take my action figures and drop them in on with, like, little strings and, like, make a little underwater movie.
Okay.
The bacteria from my action figures killed all the fish
Oh.
in the fish tank. I had no idea why they were dying off one by one, and neither did my parents. And then we added it up. I'm like, yeah, my grimy turd fingers
Yeah,
when I was
your
a kid.
germ
Yeah.
hanging- yeah.
And
Kid
then
hands.
the toys plus the plastic,
The Chinese plastic.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
made out
All
of
of it was just killing those poor fish.
And the bleach that you poured in.
yeah.
You would think
That's not going to work.
you would think fish are tougher than that, right? just some
Deal with it.
some dirty kid doo-doo fingers and some action figure killed them off. It's stupid.
yeah.
I mean,
I think my fish are tougher than that. The ones that I know.
What kind of fish you rocking with out there? Can't
Uh,
We
there's
got
a-
a premium dory.
we used to have
Wow.
more,
Hot.
but like I said,
We have one. Okay,
We
that's-
had murder
that's better.
shrimp that started eating all of our fish.
Yeah,
we had to
these-
get rid of those.
Yeah, we had
Murder
these
shrimp.
Yeah, we had these thug ass murder shrimp that would like roll
We
up.
had a starfish that, ooh,
Yeah,
that
we-
didn't last.
Well, that
Murder
was-
shrimp is like an improv team name.
Yeah, that's the worst improv team name.
yeah.
All right, I think we're good.
It turns out you have to. All the animals in there have to get along. It's just
We
weird.
didn't know that. Sometimes I want to when I'm here alone editing. Like sometimes I'm here and I'm like I want to go in there and like no one's here, and I just want to like find like we've got Dots pretzels up there. I'm like, what would happen if I just
What
put
do they
one
eat?
Oh,
Dots? It's not gonna do nothing. It's gonna do nothing.
well, they'll peck at it.
They will peck at it. They'll peck at
Yeah.
anything. That's the best thing about fish is
yeah.
they'll peck.
Oh, they'll pack.
They're peckers.
Remember when everybody used to have Chinese fighting fish?
Can't
Yeah.
say that
Yeah.
anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Can't say
Yeah.
that anymore. Stop Asian.
I don't know
What
what
the
that
fuck's
is.
wrong with
Now
you?
it's Chinese killing fish.
Beta fish. Are they
Yeah,
called?
yeah.
They're actually called beta fish, aren't they?
Oh,
Oh,
But yeah,
never heard that terminology for them
Yeah.
before.
I'm stuck in 2003.
I'm a beta male. I don't know if you guys know
Oh,
that.
hard me too.
Yeah.
I'm a beta fish as well.
All right. I think that's good. I think we did. That's a
Yeah.
perfect warm up.
Yeah.
We ended with I'm a beta fish too, which I think write that down. All right.
Write that down.
I think
It's
that's
important.
That's the name of the
That's a
show.
note.
All right. Would you like to begin?
Sure.
Do you know the name of our guests?
Yeah.
Can you pronounce them correctly? Because I probably can't.
It's not difficult.
It's not bad. Yeah. We got a good one. We got a good one. All right.
That
Here we
means
go.
he's gonna fuck it up.
Yeah. Oh. All right. Here we go. 3, 2.
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha, our producer's here. Hello, Sam.
Hello,
How are you?
I'm good.
A little spicy today. What's going on? What's wrong? Something's wrong.
What was spicy about that, Tom?
I don't know.
Daniel's
Why does he do this to me?
Well, why would you ask the guy that doesn't know?
Just
he
blow
doesn't.
past
He
it.
doesn't recognize anything. He can't feel, and then like I
Yeah,
feel
yeah.
everything, and I felt something there.
There's
There's
nothing
men
to
in
feel.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I thought some men in here.
So we've got 2 guests that are going to be performing on Saturday,
Yes.
right? February 4th.
Yes, sir.
Laugh Out Lounge in Winter Haven.
That's a good name, the
It is a
Laugh
good
Out
name.
Lounge. It's hard to say for me though, because I'm, a
And-
broadcaster.
Shane Hartline, Luke Knoll are here.
Hey!
Of course, we've talked to Shane multiple times. We've watched Shane.
We've watched
from
him grow
the
up.
beginning of his career.
I was there. I don't know if you know
You
this.
fathered me.
I was there when you were
in some
born.
way. Yeah.
I was in the
Yeah.
room
Yeah.
as you were being delivered.
Yeah, you helped me out.
Yeah, I did. I really did help you out physically.
I'm going to tell my sons one day, and they're never going to listen.
That
but,
Shane Hartline
like-
is Chris Pratt.
No, I've seen because everybody talks about people. If you work hard enough at something you really want to do in life,
Yeah,
that
but you
you'll
don't
get
believe
there.
in that.
No, well, I didn't believe when I was young.
There's
I thought
only
it
one.
was,
It's truly,
you know
we've had
why?
these conversations. There's only
Okay.
one person we believe about this, and it's you.
Oh.
Wow.
Look,
No,
Shane,
seriously, we've
let's
had
talk
these.
about this.
We've had discussions where we're like hustlers, they'll never win, because they don't have the talent thing, and then we're like, this is not gonna work.
Well,
It
when
works
you're
for
young,
Shane.
You don't need talent.
well, when you're young, adults tell you they're like, "Oh, if you work hard enough at it, you could achieve your goal, whatever."
Yeah, you're gonna be
And-
president.
And then when you're young, at least I felt this way. I was like, man, it seems impossible.
Too hard.
Is that real? Because people tell you all these cliches all the time, and then they end up not being real. But then when you get older, you look back at people working towards their dream and then accomplishing it, and you're like, oh, it does work. Which
Not
didn't
bad.
say-
Not
you're like,
bad.
you can do it.
Every once in a while it works.
Yeah.
It
But
depends
then-
on the dream. Yeah.
But then a lot of times it doesn't work, and I've seen people, but they never work as hard as the people that actually make it. And then I'm like, well, what is it? Is it the hard work? Is it the talent? Is it
Maybe it's a combination of both. Write that down.
Write that down.
Yeah, write that down too.
So anyway, I want to talk about how you guys met and started, performing together and all that.
it was a key party.
Okay.
Tom's into that.
Yeah, let's talk about
He's
key
intrigued.
parties.
Yeah.
Does that?
I've never been to one.
I feel
Because
like
I'm
they-
old.
We
They
bonded
were.
because we both drove 4-wheelers there, and so when we were dropping our key in the bowl, I was like, "Is that a 4-wheeler?"
This is Tom's dream.
Yeah. My God, this sounds like how you grew up.
More keys should be like 4-wheeler keys where they have like a nub or.
I love a good
at-
nub. It's got to have a guzet.
Yeah,
It's
it's
a
like a
guzet.
kill switch that if you fly off, it's attached to your belt or whatever.
Yeah,
so
it's to
yeah.
keep
yeah.
grit out
No.
of there, right? The guzet is to keep the sand from getting in there.
If you use the kill switch, I look down on you and I call you a P word.
You want to keep that thing
But-
going off without you.
But if you swim to shore and you have a day glow fluorescent, little stretchy thing and a jet ski key,
Right.
I think you're great.
A jet ski kill switch you have to have, I think, because you'll die. It'll keep driving you out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you will die. It'll just kill someone else.
Yeah, it'll kill someone else.
Yeah, which is fine with me.
It'll leave you out wherever DJ Khaled was that time that he
Oh,
got
yeah.
lost out of the.
A lot
Wait,
of,
did
lot
that
of
happen?
rappers.
He got lost on a jet ski in the dark.
Oh,
in the
that's
ocean.
Too bad they found him.
Yeah.
And they found
A
him,
lot
unfortunately.
of rappers.
Is he still delivering wings, or is that somebody else?
We can only
on
hope.
jet skis.
I thought he doesn't deliver wings, if you know what I mean.
Like,
He's not that kind of guy.
Oh yeah, he doesn't do that.
Yeah, he doesn't
Yeah.
do that.
Is that what you call it? Delivering
Yeah.
wings?
You don't.
no.
You don't call it that?
No, my wife calls it that.
Yeah, I didn't know you were married.
Yeah, I love it. I love love.
Me too. Me too.
I love love. Love wins.
Congratulations.
I promise we'll get back on track, but let's talk about jet skis for a second.
We're the tangent show, by the way, guys. This is gonna be weird.
I love it.
This is
I'm
gonna be
already
weird.
where my
all
brain
aboard.
always lives.
We're the tangent show.
Because jet skis are super dangerous.
Right.
Yes.
for you,
They're
but,
motorcycles
They
for.
destroy your balls too.
They do.
but
They do.
also
They're motorcycles for fatter hip hop guys. Because remember, Sean Kingston almost died.
yeah.
That mother.
That
Oh
girl
my.
was way too beautiful, and I believe he almost he was
I think he's
suicidal.
different. I think he's different now, right?
Was it? Was it?
Yeah, I was hoping you were
Yeah,
gonna.
I'm going along with it. I was like also thinking about. I think he's different. I think he's like unfortunate
Well,
now. If you
oh,
know what I
no.
mean.
Not
Yeah.
only have
Unfortunate.
like rappers been injured on
Yeah,
jet skis,
tons
but,
of 'em.
Rappers kid was it?
Do you know that
Nelly's
the-
kid?
the
Whose
last
kid
time-
died on a jet ski?
Oh, don't
in
talk about
Miami?
that.
Yeah.
It was
boy.
Chamillionaire's child.
Like,
Cha.
Anyway, problem with jet skis, if you're out in the middle of the ocean, you're relatively fine. Around nothing else, worst case scenario, you fall off, whatever. But that's not where people ride jet skis.
No.
They ride them
Lakes.
around
Where there's
other
12
boats.
feet between the banks.
Yeah.
Around other boats or
Over
near,
kids.
Oh yeah, near their mansion and their dock.
Yeah.
And then with jet
You go
skis,
near the beach so you can high five your bros.
Exactly.
You have no training. You get on there. You're drunk, and then
Training. Is there jet ski training?
you have
Yeah, some guy with a rat tail goes, have fun. You get it for 30 minutes. Go.
an insane amount of horsepower. But when you let off the gas and panic, and then turn the the steering wheel,
nothing happens.
It does not turn because it turns by the propulsion of water.
Well, let me
so
throw
you
something out
panic,
there.
and then you just stand frozen, and then you ram the dock
Let
as
me
hard
throw
as
something
or
out
boat
there.
or people.
I'm no genius, but I do love DJ Khaled and Sean Kingston.
We know.
Why not put a fin in there that it's always like that deploys in some way? Why not put a safety device? I'm serious about this. So when the engine cuts off or when you're not giving it any gas and you're just going, where if you do turn, it's let's put a little rudder on it. Let's not be idiots. We can. I have an electric car, for Christ's sake. There are people that flying around in space. There's Bezos who are flying to the moon.
I think you're asking way too much
You
here.
can't put a tiny fin in there so when
no
it.
fin.
Okay.
So that went, I remember doing it in riding a jet ski with my now wife in Lake Michigan off of Chicago. So you only have like 30 minutes a year where you can do that without freezing to death.
And even then, it's still cold, right?
It's still not fun. Like,
Yeah.
you don't want to be in the water. But like it's fun to ride a jet ski around. But I remember she's behind me, like just clutching on for dear life, like onto my hips as I'm going. And I'm like, I was kind of giving her crap about it where I'm like, you can loosen up. I mean, I'm flying around, right? And she goes, how about we switch and you hold on to me and I drive.
Oh, that's packing.
no.
You can't do that.
And so I was like, all right. I mean, I got to, shoes on the other foot. I got to give this a try. And I'm like, she's totally right. You feel so powerless and like you're going to die at any point. Just I'm holding on to her. And then, of course, she slows down, jerks the wheel like 90-degree angle, and then guns it. Immediately we shoot into the water.
I had
I
that-
flip the thing over.
I had that happen one time. So my parents live by Legoland in Winter Haven,
Wow.
right next to on the
This
lake.
is a plug for Legoland.
We are sponsored
out
by
Legoland.
our comedy tour is sponsored by Legoland.
That's awesome.
No, but we live on the lake where Legoland is, so we could literally take our jet skis, drive up to the barricade, and watch the ski show and all that stuff. So I did.
Oh my God! I would
did
love
that.
to do. That's so redneck to sit there and steal the ski show with a beer.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
you can shoot at him too.
So one time I did it on a jet ski with the girl I was with at the time, and that happened. We tried to switch seats, and we both flipped. Now, little did we know, and I'm glad I didn't know this at the time, but the barricade that separates you from getting into Legoland and the open lake are these tires. But it's notorious, and I didn't know this at the time, that there's snakes just filled in these tires.
Snakes
They
on the
do that.
tires.
They do that deliberately. They do that. Lego. I don't know if you know this,
They
but the
stock-
owners of Lego are They're evil.
They're like, yeah.
Hey, Jim, did you
we
stock the
stocked this
snake
thing
tires
with-
today?
Put the snakes in the tires to keep out the
The snakes
rednecks.
are low, Jim.
They're stealing the ski show.
So you knock the snake tires, and then
Yeah.
they just. What kind of snakes?
I didn't,
everything.
I didn't see them, and I'm
What
so
co-
glad I didn't
Not
see them.
like all the snakes.
Yeah.
The chat room is melting down. The chat room is just screaming, "Croquet head hit guy."
From Tooth Fairy 2. They've looked up
Wait.
Shane's IMDb at this point.
Yeah.
Wait, why of all my credits?
That's the one they love.
Yeah, that's the one
I'm
they
in
like.
Star Wars.
Yeah, but it's funnier to say croquet hit.
I'm in some good stuff.
Yeah, Chad. How about
Curse if you
you
want to.
IMDb my name? My name is Matthew Broderick.
And that's the credit.
I was in Godzilla 2000.
So
Best Godzilla movie ever.
okay, back to
Only Godzilla.
how
A lot of the
how'd
chat
you guys
room
start working together.
Well, a lot of the chat room doesn't even know that Luke was on SNL. But
Yeah.
Oh, hey,
I-
chat.
but I'm sure it's the one thing that where you go places, people are like, all
So,
right,
you're on SNL.
SNL. And it's
Yes.
like, well, I mean, they're on a comedy tour together. I'm sure they'd rather talk about that. And
No,
how
no,
they
no,
came
no, it's a
together.
part of the
You know
journey.
what we should talk about, actually, about the comedy tour, and this is specifically for the chat, is that if you come to our show, we do
Oh,
something
wait, are you going to do this?
way
Are you going to
different.
do this now? We're breaking something.
I want to
Okay.
break some. This is
I like
breaking
this.
news. So many comedians, when they do a tour, they sell merch. They'll give out, they'll do something for the people, right? That come
Oh,
out to the show.
yes.
We like to do that too, but we've been doing this every city that we go to. One lucky audience member, we have a special gift for, and that's the gift of life.
All right.
And that means we are willing, and we like to lead up top with this at the show. We
So we
will get
started.
one audience member, if you're lucky, and we need to limit it to one. We will get one audience member pregnant.
I like
Okay.
And I know what you're thinking.
But this is not. We're not going to physically make love to.
There's
this
no
person.
physical contact.
No, no,
Okay.
no. So we'll simply give you a Dixie cup filled with sample,
Okay.
our sample,
Both of ours.
both of ours,
a mixture, if you will.
a mixture. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking,
Yeah, Luke, how do you know whose is whose?
well, his is your traditional sample. Mine's more like a Nickelodeon orange, so you can always kind of tell.
You can always tell the difference.
Love it.
But we mix it up kind of Orange Dreamsicle style, and we know that we're going to hit a lot of cities, so we've prepared over the last 3 or 4 months or so to get enough Dixie cups of sample.
I have one more question, Luke.
Sure.
How do I know that this is fresh?
It's not. That's why we have to microwave it before the show to make sure that it's piping hot for
Piping
any-
hot?
Yeah.
That doesn't sound pleasant.
Yeah,
You're
it's-
freaking
it's
me out.
actually-
Louis.
So, ladies and gentlemen,
I don't know where you're going.
I think I know why it was one season. I'm like, oh my god!
ladies and gentlemen,
Like Lorne Michaels is like he's in here with the cum.
You literally left Tom speechless, and that is hard to do.
I'll,
The cum man is here.
you can't say that.
it's sample.
It's sample.
Oh,
so-
I thought we were doing this uncensored.
No,
We can?
no,
Oh.
no. We're gonna air it.
Oh well,
we don't have
then you
anything
better
for Friday.
call KC because I'm spicy.
No,
Ooh.
But no, if that doesn't entice you to come to our comedy shows, I don't,
I don't know what will.
Yeah.
I like that.
a very CK.
Yeah, it was a classic CK.
And again, you can do with the Dixie cup whatever you want.
Yeah, you can keep the cup.
You can keep the cup.
Cups are, people reuse cups now.
And we
That's
don't know
right.
how you get it in there. That's kind of your own
That's
thing.
on
Where-
you.
That's your
That's on
thing.
you.
But where did you guys start? Like,
Yeah, how did you
with
meet?
with this tour? As far as like,
You're a
when,
Chicago guy.
Mm-hmm.
I know where you're from. You're an LA guy now. So how do you guys meet up and like connect to decide to tour around?
You want to take this, Luke?
So we both live in LA
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Oh, you live in Atlanta. Great.
I'm out, yeah. Ever since I got canned from SNL, I moved to LA, which that's what you got to
What
do.
a cool thing though to say, I think.
Top of the mountain.
I think going to SNL for one season and then being out.
Get in and get out. I
Yeah.
hear it's miserable.
I think
honestly.
I think that's almost
it's
what
pretty
it
cutthroat,
is.
right? Yeah.
Did it? Let me ask
It
you
is.
this because I've been sitting on this question like the whole time that I knew you, and even when I knew you guys had started touring together, I knew you'd been on there one season, and I knew that you'd always, since I'd always known you as a little bitty baby boy, he's like SNL, SNL,
My
SNL,
papa.
SNL, SNL. Here's my reel. Updated the reel, made the reel better. Reel is like every year more impressions added to it. Here it is.
Too many tapes.
Did it change your opinion when you've been able to like tour with a guy who's been there, seen it, and done it?
Well, I don't know if you know this though. I auditioned.
Yeah, I know you auditioned,
So-
but I mean, like he's.
But being with somebody that's
Right.
I've heard hands-on the experience. What in what way do you mean did it change?
Well, like because like I feel like most of the people that have come through here, at least, I think I can say this, that have been on there and not been anymore. And not necessarily a firing. Maybe they left on their own will. Who have we had?
There's
We've
a lot
had
of one and done.
We've had Chris Redd. We've had.
Love Chris. I
We've-
got hired the same year as Chris.
Yeah. We've had
Jay Farrow.
Jay Farrow.
God, there's been
The other guy, I'm blanking on him, black guy. God bless it. Finesse. We had
Finesse Mitchell?
Finesse.
Yeah.
I mean, John Lovitz.
Yeah, and his dog. We had
And his dog.
Yeah, his dog
I
got
don't-
hair everywhere.
You don't
His
count him?
dog was only there one season.
That's
yeah,
right.
yeah,
Well,
exactly. He was fired.
the different-
just the dog.
the different generations of SNL, and by generation I even mean by like 10 years. I feel it changed.
But they don't really gush about it. Is my
everything's
point.
different though.
It's not like they come in here and they're like, well, maybe Lovitz, but everybody else was like, it was good, but holy
Hard as hell.
crap, it was a mess. It was
Yes.
Grueling, and I'm glad that I'm able to be
It's very
myself
clicky.
now.
People are afraid to talk about it, especially like someone like Chris or someone who is still there. Or whatever.
Sure.
He's not.
Yeah, yeah.
but
I'm not
he-
saying to badmouth it, but I just
no.
like I think it's hard.
But they are so afraid to say anything that
Right.
can be misconstrued as not glowingly positive because Big Daddy Lorne has the ability to
Yeah.
snap his fingers and just end you
For sure.
everywhere. You know,
that
it's
is
a lot of power.
it's a lot.
It's still interesting that he has so much of a say.
Yeah.
Even though that the times have changed. Like,
Well, it's never changed in my lifetime. At 46, if I look at it,
Well, I
SNL
mean-
to me, I remember like it was one of my favorite shows. I'm a Conan guy. That's how I grew
I'm a
up. That's
Conan guy,
that's
too.
just my generation of being 46 at this time.
Yeah.
When I look at it, like there's no such thing as Saturday Night Live without Lorne Michaels. That's the
Right.
and I think I'll die with it being that way.
Other than the Dick Ebersol years.
Right, correct.
But
And he
it's-
was doing another show, right,
Right.
at that time, and that's why they pulled him back. Or
So, imagine if you're the CEO of a company and you're running a company, but the company is not really based on how much, you can't quantify it by dollars or whatever. It's more of entertainment and what's funny and who's funny.
Yeah.
Which is very subjective. And then if it's a subjective thing that you're doing, it's hard. I mean, he's done a good job at it, but for Lorne Michaels to be able to subjectively know who's funny in the current environment for that many years, you would think you'd age out. I mean, even cognitively, when you start hitting 60s and 70s, and just the way you grew up and like what you know to be funny and what the culture likes. I mean, it's changed so much. How can continue to be relevant?
He's still very much sharp. He's he is, and he's funny. He is sharp and he is funny. But you're right that like I remember when I first met him, he came and saw me in Chicago, and then the next night I went and saw him at the Ritz downtown where he was staying in Chicago. And so I'm sitting there, and I remember like I had an agent at the time, and she was like, "Do not get a drink, like do not." And then I get there, and I'm
Asians
like
don't like
so
drinks.
nervous, and then I don't order a drink, and then one of the producers was like, "We're paying for it, like whatever you want." Like, and so I was like, "I'll have a whiskey soda," and they were like, "And what kind of whiskey?" And I just said, "The crappiest kind you have."
Right.
And they were again like, "We're paying for it."
Did
Like,
you think
no,
everything
the
was
best kind?
Did you think everything was a test at that point?
It is.
Is.
It is. But I remember, I remember sitting with
that's
him.
scary.
Yeah,
that's
it's
what I'm talking about.
intimidating, man.
Shane,
Wow.
that's what I'm talking about. Is that like
It's a mind game.
Once you get in there, it's an inner circle-y, like it's like
I couldn't
it's an
handle
escape
it.
room.
Oh, he
It's like
wants
that
to
though
sweat
for
you
any.
out though.
It's like that though on any set. It kind of is like that on
It's
any
another level with Lorne though, because he wants to see you squirm a little bit. And I remember there was one point where he's asking me, like it kind of reminded me, like you said, like to be out of touch or something. I was so nervous to talk to this man, and he's asking me these questions.
Oh, yeah.
And then eventually he's like, "And where in the city do you live?" And I'm like, "Oh, I just moved in with my girlfriend. Like, we have AC, like central AC now, so that's huge.
Yeah.
The last 3 years I didn't have any AC." And he's like looking at me like, and I could see in that moment I had accidentally made him uncomfortable because he hasn't been like a human man in 50
Right.
years.
Yeah.
Where he's
He's like, people
"Oh,
live
yeah,
without
oh,
AC?
yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, well,
Wow,
and it's not
yeah.
I
even his-
remember what pooping felt like.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Was the interesting part is because
That's
not only
fascinating.
He had no idea.
Yeah, like how can he
what-
relate? Yeah.
He literally couldn't. Another thing that I've told him this story before. It was like 2 or 3 in the morning. I'm there on like a Tuesday writing night, and he was still there. And so I'm in the elevator bay, and
nuts.
I'm leaving.
Yeah.
And he's leaving.
Yeah.
And I get in the elevator, and I hold the door because I'm like, "Are you going down?" And he goes, "I'm leaving up." So he's like taking
Helicopter.
taking like a helicopter.
Oh my God.
That's
the-
a
He wanted to
said,
just
"I'm
come there to
leaving
make sure
up."
you went down.
And I was just like,
Oh yes, some people leave down. Yes.
"Oh yes."
I know who leaves town.
That's crazy. And in the same regard, like you've got that on the comedy side. I can only imagine with Shane, with like anything Star Wars, I put on the same level of like Lorne Michaels to SNL is like Star Wars,
Yeah.
Lucas. It's like,
Right.
holy crap. Like, is
Right.
that as a little boy that loves Star Wars and being in Star Wars, how do you even remember it?
Well-
you don't black out, and then like you get there, and then you're talking to your fiance, and you're like, "Yeah, I did the thing," and she's like, "Tell me about it." And you're like, "I have no recollection."
I went
be
full
me.
nude.
I have a
went full
really,
nude.
I have a funny story
like
about
meeting famous people. Sometimes
Oh,
I
yeah.
freak out, and then I'm like, Andrea's like, "Well," and I'm like, I
Well,
gotta
it was.
know.
I have a really funny story from the day, but that booking was of everything that I've ever done. It floored me. Like it absolutely floored me, and it's still.
You get
it's-
to talk.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like so many people, celebrities, like Lance Bass was an extra in the Phantom Menace or something like that, just to be in the Star Wars universe.
Right.
So to be
selfishly.
He played Darth Maul.
I would pay almost my entire savings
to see Lance Bass play Darth
in
Maul.
the makeup. With
they might need a new one.
He's a good dancer.
But no, so
He'd probably be damn good. You're right. You take it seriously.
So I acknowledge, as a lifelong Star Wars fan, to be able to like be a stormtrooper and speak in that universe is surreal. It'll never not be. But the day I got to set, I've been in pressure cookers. Like, I've been in very like at a table read for Rock of Ages, and that was at that time that was the most like stressful, anxiety filled situation outside of my SNL audition.
Yeah.
But getting to set for Star Wars, like I was freaking out, obviously, and I was in the dressing room, and I brought with me, and this isn't a sponsor of our tour like Legoland is,
Legoland.
but.
And the snakes.
Legoland gives us the samples.
Free snakes for
No,
everyone.
but the Calm magnesium powder supplement
My
thing?
wife takes that.
Yeah.
So I brought that with me because I'm like, of any day, I'm like, I'll probably need this. So when I got in my dressing room, I started like, all right, I'm getting anxious. I need to take this stuff. And I looked around.
Had you ever taken it before?
Yeah, sure.
Because it makes you shotgun blast diarrhea.
Hold on. Write that
Why
down.
would you take that day?
Write that down. I
My
need
wife
that.
takes it every day, and she says it's her favorite part of her day.
I like this woman because I am pro diarrhea too.
The magnesium.
Sorry,
it'll
Jimmy.
get you.
No.
It'll get you.
I've never had that experience with it, but I hope to.
Aggressive.
So I start
A boy can
panicking.
dream.
I start panicking. I'm looking for water to mix and have my calm moment.
Your calm drink.
My calm drink, and couldn't find water. So in that moment, I'm like, you know what? I'm a tough guy. I've seen wrestlers. I've seen bodybuilders just take protein powder.
Like kratom?
You are a wrestler. Don't give me that crap. He's wrestled. This is Rip Malibu, folks. I mean,
Yeah,
listen,
baby.
Malibu, baby.
You didn't know that was his name?
No.
That was my
I
wrestling.
was
And
not
and
familiar.
he's got the physique, and he's got
Not
and
as
he-
much anymore,
And
but
at,
thank
well,
you.
you will again. And at the time,
Two
he had.
penises.
You know what you had that I loved. You know what you had that I
What's
loved.
that?
Absolutely. You had like the Sid curls.
I had,
the Sid. What's his
Sid
name?
Vicious
Sid Vicious.
curls.
He had the Sid Vicious like the Malibu curls.
It looked like very different back then.
So good.
But so anyways, I was like, yeah, this is the good idea. I'm gonna put a spoonful of it in my mouth and swish it around with my saliva and swallow it.
You're
no,
a wet
you
man.
still
You're a
need
wet boy.
you still need water. So I started choking. And I was like, this is how I die before I even get to work on set.
Are you in a trailer or are you in a
I'm
home?
in like a little dressing room on the set. And
For sure, if you died and they see the powder everywhere, they're like, "This guy is a coke
Fentanyl.
addict."
Exactly, dude.
Then they test it. and they're like,
Typical fuck. Oh,
So-
I'm doing it again.
so I-
typical Floridian.
Exactly. And so I ran to the sink, got it down. Anyways, still anxious, anxiety driven. I hop into the trailer to go to set with the other stormtrooper in the scene with me, and in hops Ewan McGregor.
Oh my God.
Full costume, full Obi-Wan. And turns around to us. The first thing he goes, "Hello there," and I'm just like, floored.
Kiss me.
I just take me.
What's that look like? I mean, like describe you're sitting there and are you in your stormtrooper gear?
We're not yet. So we're in takes 20 minutes per person to put on. 3 people are assembling
That is
it.
not cost effective.
But they had us. It was very secretive. So they had us in these big cloaks to take us to a secret set. Everything from getting the script, every part of the process was like a step to get things emailed to us was through like a Lucasfilm server. Everything was so protected and secretive, even down to when I auditioned, which is standard for big projects like this. But I didn't know it was for Star Wars, but I kind of plugged the pieces in based on this is the casting director. I think this is what she's casting next. I thought it was Star Wars, but I didn't know for sure until I booked it.
You'll be reading for white plastic robot man who can't shoot well.
Yeah, and also this armor that it's going to take 20 minutes to put you in, it doesn't help you and survive. There's never been a laser that
Right,
you would
exactly.
think that they
So
would be
don't
like,
try to get shot.
yeah,
for
they're
real.
like, it does not stop lasers.
And Ewan McGregor
Like, why
walks
do we do
in
it?
and he sits down and are you next to him? Are you like
In the scene?
yeah, no, I mean like can you
Oh, the trailer.
you
Yeah,
can
he's
just like touch him
right here to here.
and you're not freaking is your
I
heart
spent
racing?
3 days with him and
my
just
God.
just hung out with him for 3 days. but
guys are like
dressed as
cruise
Obi-Wan the whole time. So just geeking out, but like
Crazy.
This is
Such a
tangent
nice
though.
dude.
I'm just thinking of because I was like I grew up being named Luke, so of course I was obsessed with Star Wars.
there you go.
But why? At what point in like future technology were they like, all right, our guns now shoot lasers? They have swords that block lasers. Like, at what point were they like, bullets aren't doing the job? Like a bullet is. It's so fast you don't see it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Where I'm like, I can see these lasers shooting out that give these guys enough time to block them.
Yeah.
Why? When was bullets not good enough to shoot these guys?
You know what? I never thought about that. That's good.
everything
why
goes
are-
full circle.
Why are bullets obsolete in the Star Wars?
Somebody's
universe?
got bullets.
Or also make the lasers invisible.
We're kind of keying them in.
Like
You know,
when
and-
you're setting it, they're like, "Hey, let's not make these blue or red."
Bright red, yeah.
Also, it's like
it seems like they know how to block these.
it would also be dangerous too if you picked up your blue gun's out. You pick up a red gun. They're gonna think
you're a bad
bad
guy.
guy. Right? You got to be careful with that.
Also, just make it a long, continuous laser, and I'll just swat around
Yeah,
and
yeah,
chop you
exactly.
up like the goddamn
Well, then it's
sword.
a never-ending sword.
Okay.
That's a good title too. Write that down.
The
Shane.
never-ending sword.
Here, this is what I would be terrified about if I was
Wait a
in your
minute.
situation.
You're not terrified of anything.
Yes, I am. Of awkward situations
Oh,
and
yeah.
failing.
Yeah.
So I put.
He's pretty brave. I'm the awkward
I know.
situation
So,
guy.
I could put myself in Shane's shoes, where I've worked 20 years to get to this point, and
Yeah.
now I'm on the set of Star Wars.
That's what I've always wanted.
They took 20 minutes to put on my stormtrooper outfit, and then I'm getting ready. I'm in line to get up to or I'm driving
I
with
took
the
my
cloak.
magnesium diarrhea powder.
I've blasted
But-
everything out.
But then, as we're driving with the cloak and we're going to the location, and I know, like, hey, this is going to be a grueling, long scene or whatever. I'm gonna have to be on set for a while. I start having to pee a little bit, or I feel the urge, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I shouldn't have drank that second Diet Coke this morning.
Yep.
And then
He
I'm like,
drinks 9 a day.
and then I can imagine myself on set in the stormtrooper outfit,
Like
and
peeing your stormtrooper
well,
outfit?
not wanting to be like, I'm sorry, I
Yeah, I
need
gotta
to
take this
Oh,
whole
yeah.
thing off.
because everybody
you
would be
mean.
like, yeah, amateur,
Yeah.
or like this guy,
idiot.
And
Yeah.
so then
You're not a stormtrooper.
Either I let my bladder explode, or I just go into my suit.
Well, what also sucks is
You go in the suit.
the part of the process with me
Just
almost
covered in piss.
with me almost dying from the calm challenge that I did. My throat was on fire, so I was like, I need water all day. So I did have to pee all day, and there was that moment of like, God dang it, I got to ask somebody to
Yeah.
disassemble my crotch.
Are
They
diapers
should
not an option?
I mean, they should just make it so that front angle piece just.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
goes
kind-
just
it-
Or
straight up.
maybe-
just
It's
have
kinda
your
like
penis
that, but it-
exposed and hanging everything else.
yeah, just shoot it from the waist up and no
Yeah.
pants.
Yeah.
We gotta be safe.
I remember when I was auditioning for SNL being so nervous because they keep you there like all day long. Like you're there for like 6, 7, 8 hours, like just like pacing in like a little dressing room. And I remembered like after a minute I started to count how many times I was having to pee, and I remember like before I went up for my audition, I think I peed 11 times.
That's those nervous pees.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just nervous pees.
and then your
That's that,
mouth is dry. You're chugging
and
water.
it's to the point where you're peeing and it's like it's just like that's what's coming out.
How do they tell you that like you made it onto SNL? Like, does it come?
It's like a gender reveal, I
does
think.
Lauren
Well, your
Michaels-
story-
They pop a balloon.
Your phone call story is pretty cool.
They call like they definitely don't tell you right away. So you definitely leave New York being like, well, that was fun, but
Yeah, no
It'll
way.
never
Yeah,
happen.
no, yeah.
Right.
every step along the process, because they make you jump through a lot of hoops, like every step along the process, when I'm just like crazy that it got that far. You know what I mean? Even like being there a year, I was like crazy that I was even there a year, which is true. But I was working for like a tech startup in Chicago, and they called me at like 4:45 on a Friday, and they're like, it's Lauren. It's like a person.
He
that
called
puts-
you directly?
No, a
okay.
person is like, and you're on with Lauren.
Oh,
And
they
I'm like,
patch you through.
Yeah.
and so I'm like,
Oh,
I like
man.
stand up and run to the conference room, and he's like, we're looking forward to having you, and just so you know, if anyone finds out about this, we'll know it came directly from you. You are the only one. He was basically like, in Chicago, he's like, there are ways that people find out about who made it in New York and L.A., but he's like, if someone finds out that you specifically have gotten on the show, we know 100% it's from
And all you want to do, all you want to do in
Yeah.
that moment is tell everyone.
Yeah.
But I remember like leaving and putting in my 15 minutes notice
Right.
for my job, where
Right.
like I have to be living in New York on Monday. You know
Dude,
what I mean?
and
Yeah.
to kind of tag team on your story a little bit, like with Star Wars, I had to be quiet for a year.
Right.
That was the hardest I have ever, and that's very common now with Marvel
Yeah.
projects, with everything. It's
Yeah.
these sweet and sometimes longer. Like you think about Avatar. Think about somebody that they've shot those movies back to back. There's somebody that's probably not even in a movie until 2026
Right.
that can't reveal it, talk about it, or use it to leverage their career
Right.
until like 3 or 4 years from now.
Oh, sorry.
and you
My
can't-
apple pie is done.
And
I
it-
mean, do you trust anybody? I mean, you tell your fiance.
I
right?
told very few people, but it was my parents and my fiance.
Did you guys
That
see
was
the
it.
Avatar, the new Avatar?
No, I haven't
No.
seen it
Yeah.
yet.
I went and watched it
What'd you
last
think?
week in the theaters, and I'll tell you what, there was a moment there where I'm watching it. I'm like, man, I'm having such a great time watching this IMAX 3D. But then there was a moment where I had to, in my own brain, accept that I was like, there's a situation where I would definitely have sex with an 8-foot-tall cat demon.
I
Blue cat demon.
love tall
Back
women.
to this.
I was like, I need to
Yeah.
admit that they've mastered the technology to where I'm like, yeah,
This is like-
I'm attracted to them
This
now.
is the thing for me. Like, I'm a little guy, and I love tall women. My wife's like 5'8", or maybe she's like 5'7", but I like them really, really tall. So when I saw this, when the first one came out, I remember you did that Halloween contest downtown, and that girl came in the thing.
And it
but
activated
she
something
was
within
short.
you?
No, she was short. So when I saw her, I was like, that's a great costume, but nothing's happening because you're
Not
not
accurate.
Yeah.
You gotta be.
I'm not even hard.
Yeah, you gotta you gotta shoot for the moon on this, man.
Also, there's a tail involved.
Oh, yeah, there's a
and
tail.
You're like,
And
I don't know.
It's your USB. How do you
But
like
the tail,
I
link
think
into
that-
people?
Okay, this is
go-
messing me up, and you guys will know what I mean. So the tails, like, it looks like on the end of the tails, and you won't be mad at me. The tails, it looks like they're fuzzy, or
Yeah,
they
yeah.
have like fibers,
Mm-hmm.
and the fibers intertwine, right, to have sex. But the fibers look exactly like the fibers that come out of the mouths on The Last of Us.
Yeah, that's true.
So when I look at The Last of Us, I
It's
think
true.
that it's an avatar
You
tail.
get a little worked up.
I do get a
That's
little.
how they patch in.
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
So when not to keep going back, but what made you guys decide like, hey, let's go on tour together, let's work together? Was this a natural chemistry?
Yeah.
and we could do this.
Yeah,
easily?
so during COVID, we were, as everybody, like we were deep into it, going a little stir crazy, and we got the idea, let's start shooting sketches, but from a distance in a park. So, like, let's do what we can safely. And I had never met him before. We had just been talking on socials. But, obviously, big fan of anybody that's been able to
Wow.
achieve that greatness.
You guys met on the web.
On the
Met
web,
on the web.
World
That's
Wide
cool,
Web.
though. I
We
think
met
that's-
during COVID on socials, and I was just like, at some point, let's shoot something.
Yep.
Like, let's make something.
And so I gave him a free promo code to my OnlyFans.
and
Yeah.
and a sample.
Showed it
He
some
loves
nudes.
his samples. But I could tell, and I don't want to speak on your behalf, but I could tell immediately we had like a chemistry, like a comedic chemistry.
Nice.
And
For me, it took longer.
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
No,
Still doesn't
Sorry
feel
to
it.
hear that. Tom and I are like that too. For me, it was immediate.
Tom still doesn't feel it.
Tom's getting there.
Yeah, he hates me. Every morning I come in and I go, "You hate me, don't you?" And he's like,
It's fine.
he's like, yeah. Then he does.
That's how he loves.
Yeah.
That's how he loves.
He kind of does the Lauren Michaels. If you tell anybody, we'll know it comes
We'll-
directly from you.
We'll kill you.
I'm going up.
Yeah. Sam wants you to do this. Sam wants you to do a song. Can you do a song? Can you guys do
Well,
a
he
song?
brought the guitar.
Yeah,
I
let's
mean,
do
I brought
it.
it all the way
We're
out
the
here.
tangent
Yeah, okay.
show.
So-
let's do everything. It doesn't matter. There's no rules here. We own this.
So SNL didn't really utilize
brought my
your
Stormtrooper
musical
costume.
Did you
abilities.
really?
No, no, no.
Oh my God, let's pee in it.
SNL was a hard pass on like what
They're
was
like,
weird is
nah.
They didn't. They saw you do that.
they
and they're
literally
like,
came
nah.
and saw me, pick me up, pluck me out of my life, and made me move to where they are, presumably to do the thing that they saw me do. And then when I got there, I was like, "You want me to do the thing you saw me do?" And they're like, "No, no, no, never."
No, yeah. Smash your guitar.
I'm like, "Oh." I'm like, "Oh, that's very cool." Oh yeah, you gotta one ear it. That way you can hear yourself. Ooh yeah.
There we go. We're gonna do music.
What's nice about some songs is that Lauren always likes when you do long intros, without any words. Little bluesy. You got to give it a little.
I like that.
This is a true story. I'm bleeding bad, I'll be dying soon. But there is something that you must do for me before I rest in peace. There's porn on my computer that I'm really needing you to delete. There's porn on my computer and I don't want my dad and my girlfriend to know I like feet. Got pics of bunions and calluses too. Videos of old guys humping shoes. It's a handful. My screensaver's a sandal. There's porn on my computer. I'm really needing you to delete. Whoa, now there's porn on my computer and I don't want my dad and my girlfriend, my nieces and nephews, my brothers and sisters to know I like feet. Short and sweet, shorty but a goodie.
I'm starting to notice a theme with Luke here.
Luke is an
What kind of
animal.
theme, Tom?
Spicy.
Luke is a spicy animal, like me. I'm sorry.
I
Sam.
love my wife's feet.
When you guys,
Yeah, they were a hard pass on all that kind of stuff.
I like this. I'm a big fan, and I think it's very, very hard. You know, like I like seeing people break out the guitar. I like seeing it when you don't realize that they do it.
And
like I've seen Bob Saget. You know, you're like, well,
Saget can
R.I.P. But you know, like people, you know, like, oh, I didn't know you did that. That's another, you know, I guess arrow in the quiver.
what's the easiest way to get tickets for the Laugh Out Lounge tomorrow?
FirstComedyShow.com. We're the first ones to do it.
Yeah, we thought, you know, like do shows and put them together in sequence. We should do a tour. FirstComedyShow.com.
Is that the FIRST or
It's FIRST.
Yep.
We
Not
somehow
one
nailed the
ST.
URL. First Comedy Show.
Well, I was thinking one ST. You know, you don't want to be that one. Like
I
I
didn't
don't
like
even know
that.
if you can do that as a web URL.
Legally, you can't.
How
You're
many?
not allowed.
How many other stops you got? I know you said Side Splitters.
Side Splitters, Wesley Chapel. So this is like a soft little soft
This
open.
is a soft launch. We're gonna be lining up a lot more, but we decided to come out and dip our wick in Florida and see what it's all about. We tried the pizza down here that you guys eat. We
Hey,
love
Florida
this.
pizza, man.
It's
I'd never
delicious.
heard of it before, but pizza is down here. They
Hold
got.
on, there's a thing about Florida pizza.
I think
No,
that-
I just never
he's
heard
re-
of the word
a
of
bit
the
on
word
you.
pizza.
This is a comic. I get confused.
Keep up, Tom.
I'm sorry. Cut that out.
No.
No, leave that in.
And then when you guys you're like, hey, let's do a show, let's do a tour. Like, how did you work out what it was gonna be? Because when you sit
That's
down,
true.
you're like,
That's
okay,
hard, man.
well, what is
Hopefully
a
a lot like Steve-O and Bam's tour, which I hear is
Yeah,
going
going off
Can-
that
can I-
tour.
so well.
What? So
We
what?
knew that was going to happen, right?
What?
You
Wait,
bring
what?
Shane and
The
you're
most
like,
hear?
predictable.
I've
Yeah.
missed.
I
Did,
know.
did
I
it-
don't want to tell you because I know you know them.
I mean, I'm a
you
bit.
know them.
I know the Margera's, but Bam, what happened? I did.
Oh, he went on a bender.
So
Did
Steve-O
he?
took him
Yeah.
on tour, and then I guess 3 to 5 nights into the tour, he was spending some time. Even his son was there. His kid was there.
oh, it's already derailed.
Oh,
And
yeah.
No, he went
Oh,
on. He
no.
after
Started
he left the
drinking.
show. I think it was like 2 nights ago or
Yeah,
last
that was a
night.
couple nights ago.
He left the show and he went crazy drinking and drugging, and then he posted his normal Jeff Tremaine's an idiot and he's
Right.
stealing all the money.
Started going on
and,
rants.
and Johnny Knoxville is the worst
Yeah,
person
betrayed
and
me.
F him
Yeah.
and
and
Steve-O
Steve-O says, I cannot help
and
you.
Steve-O's like, okay, we're out.
I tried.
I tried.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
yeah, it happened.
Man, it breaks my
You know
heart
what?
because
I blame Steve.
I blame Steve-O.
I should have known. I knew.
Here's what
How
I would
did he
say.
not know?
Here's what I would say is that like I don't think you tried hard enough.
I so badly, real talk, want Bam to
Yeah, I
have
know.
a redemption story.
Right?
I want,
Yeah.
you know, like if Steve-O can do it, if
Yes.
Steve-O
Steve-O was the worst,
He has
right?
to want
Yeah.
to do it.
He
though.
was the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
if
the problem
Novak,
is Steve-O is a humble dude, and
Yeah.
Bam is not. And he
Correct.
doesn't take
Well,
accountability.
you have to
Well,
if you
You
want to
can't
do
keep
it.
blaming everybody
well,
else for your
that's
problems.
it,
When your
man.
addiction is that bad, you have to look at everybody around you, and then you have to take it out of your hands and say, "I can't do this."
Right.
And to disarm yourself like that is something that a lot of people can't do.
I saw him in an interview the other day with his whole family, and he still is putting the blame on everything, on everyone else. Well,
Right.
they gave me pills for this, which made me start doing this, and then I
Yeah.
took pills for this. Like, yeah, but even his mom was like, yeah, but what was the cause of it in the first place?
Right.
You know, and that's what breaks my heart. Is
Steve-O,
like
we know that.
until
We still blame Steve-O.
until he realize. I mean, we know it's like until he realizes like the true core of everything. Like it's gonna keep continuing to be this like revolving cycle. But it breaks my heart because Bam was a huge inspiration of mine.
Absolutely.
And I want him to have a redemption. If Steve-O can do it, if Novak can do it, why can't Bam? And I think that what's sad is like, because in that interview he said something. He's like, you know, they started mentioning some young skateboarders or something, and he's like, God, if I could just be 20 again. And I think that
stuck.
for anybody that like wrestlers, athletes, you know, skateboarders, they when they get old, when they get older, like. You're bound to go through that moment of like I can't do what I used to do, but Bam.
But I'm as good once as I ever. Toby Keith, what's that?
Still got it.
I am trying to be the Bam in our comedy tour. I want to make it.
You already are, dude.
Yeah, the samples. Yeah, this guy's got it.
Yeah, long story short, I want Bam to make a comeback.
I do too.
It's hard to watch someone continue to do
It's
that over and
difficult.
over, and it's like. Man, you like all of a sudden, and because now
I make
we're all
jokes
watching
about it
on-
because I honestly hate it so much, right? It's so uncomfortable.
It
I'll
sucks,
instantly make a
man.
joke about it.
I'm with you.
Sucks.
But what's good for everybody to see is that he is not immune to it, just like everybody, because everybody has someone like this or knows someone like
It
this.
caught
in their
up
life
with him.
Where
Yeah.
you see an addict that cannot get it, like
Can't get it together,
every
yeah.
chance. Like you,
But
think,
I will say,
and you think they're gonna do it this time. You're like, oh, he's on tour with Steve-O. Steve-O's having him under his
He'll
wing.
do
He's
it.
like,
He'll do it.
He's getting him. He's showing them like, look, it's possible. I'm selling at theaters. You know, you
Right.
can do this too. You just have to put together a show. I'm watching TikTok, and then I'm.
You knew it was
But
happening,
I'm
yeah.
looking in Bam's eyes, and I'm like, man, it's just.
well, sunglasses, you couldn't see him.
Yeah.
Right.
He's kind of stunted though. Like
He's-
he's
yeah.
stuck in that same
He's
like
still,
Viva
like,
La Bam mindset.
16. He's still 16 in his
It's kind
head.
of sad when
is
when you
sad.
see
Super
someone not grow up.
But you know what's good? Though I will give him a compliment. The heartogram on his pube area,
Yeah.
it held up.
Still looks
like
good.
I saw
Still
it.
did.
I saw it
Jesus
peeking.
You're right.
I saw the heartogram peeking out of his hands, and I'm like, you know what? That's some goddamn good line work.
Yeah.
I mean, I never
think it'd
thought
be
to get
stretched.
my tattoos in my pubic areas, but if I'd gotten my tattoos in my pubic area, they'd probably have held up better, right?
Well, we may
Facts.
be thrown off the radio for airing this.
Worth it.
I mean, I'll blame Sam.
Yeah, I'm gonna blame Steve-O. I'm blaming Steve-O for everything.
I blame Steve-O for me saying sample so much.
Yeah. She's right there. Sam Pulse.
I blame Steve-O for making me get a full-length bat tattoo of Tim Tebow.
Oh, I like.
All I know is that
That's awesome.
it's everybody else's fault.
Yeah.
There it is.
All I know is I am not
Always.
taking
Yeah.
responsibility.
And if you're to blame, like we know you are, you should go see these guys at.
Yeah, Laugh Out Lounge in Winter Haven on Saturday, Side Splitters. And where can people find your whole tour? Just online?
First comedy
First
show?
comedy show.
Okay.
FirstComedyShow.com.
Yeah.
I love that you guys got that.
Or you could follow either one of us too. Like,
do that.
Yeah,
Yeah, follow us on
social media.
socials.
Shane Hartline, we're on there.
Guys,
you
we
go.
pop up when you search us. I think.
Anytime you're in town, come by.
Please,
Thank
Shane,
you so
we
much,
love
guys.
you because you're part of our family.
Love
Luke,
you, dude.
Glad to pull you into the family.
Next time I'm driving a car directly through the wall.
I've been waiting for that to happen.
It's gonna get Sam first,
Yeah,
and
well,
then
I can
Sam, I
jump.
apologize for.
If as soon as I see, I'll jump
Tom
out.
thinks he's gonna save me from everything.
Now I know the layout.
No,
I
I'm
feel
jumping
he
out the
just
window.
says that's because he thinks eventually he's gonna sleep with you.
No, I just can save.
He has to buy me dinner first.
Anyway,
I'm just making
Luke
things
knows.
real.
Me and Luke, we see eye to
Yeah,
eye.
you guys are sample crazy.
Yeah, he's been emailing me a lot.
All right, bye.
All right, we're still on Twitch, but hey, Twitch, thanks for hanging out, guys. We'll see you
We'll be back at noon.
Yeah, Twitch